So welcome back, guys. So in this tutorial we'll be talking about document object model, right, which is DOM, and then DOM manipulation. So the next thing we want to check about is what is DOM. DOM is simply means a document object model, and then it is the structured representation of a web page in the browser. So let's try to check this one after the other. So what is the D? What does this simply means? The D is the document. Document refers to the element document that defines the content and structure of the web page. E.g., we have the text, images, and then also the links, and lots more. Also, we have the object. Object treat elements like images, header and paragraph as objects with properties like ID, class, style, and method, allowing interaction and manipulation. Model represents the document as a hierarchy tree, capturing the parent-child relationship between elements. The DOM enables developers like you and I to dynamically modify the content and the structure of the web page. So this is the DOM tree, right? In this case right now, we have the document which has a child of what? The root element, which is the HTML, right? And then also the HTML has two children, which are the head and then the body. The head also have a single child in this graphical illustration as the title, and then the body has two children, which are the H1 and then the paragraph. So let's move on. So what can you do with the DOM? DOM manipulation allows developers to interact with the structure, style, and content of web page. The following are some of the things you can do with the DOM. You can change and remove existing elements in the DOM. You can create and add new elements to the page. You can also change the style of for elements, and you can also add new event listener to the element to make them more interactive. Also, let's check how to select DOM elements. You can select it using get element by ID. You can also select it using get elements by class name. You can also select it using get element by tag name. You can also use query selector and then query selector all. So as time goes on, we are going to check on all this one after the other. So we also have how to change the content of DOM elements. We can make use of the inner HTML property and then also the inner text and text context to do this as well. So these are the things we'll also be working on. We'll be working on how to work with attribute of DOM elements, how to traverse DOM, also how to change the style on DOM elements, selecting elements with child node and versus children. So selecting the first or last child element, also selecting the siblings of node in the DOM, and then we are also having DOM events and event listener. So guys, that is all for now. Thanks so much. So let's now move right to the code. So let's open the code and then let's see what we want to go next into right now. So what we'll be doing right now is, let me just clear up this. Let me just clear this up and then try to clear this up as well. So let's create this. So let's name this DOM manipulation. station, right? So the thing we'll be talking about right now is we'll be talking how we can select DOM elements. So let's have this right here. Let's just write a list of HTML tags here. So we're having h1, and then this h1 is called, let's just say this is heading tag, right? And then we want to give it an attribute of id called page title. So be followed by this. We also want to have four paragraphs, right? So for the first two, we are going to say paragraph dot, let's just say family, and then we are going to be having into fold, right? So this one I'm going to be saying, let's just say this is family A, and then let's just say this is family B, right? Let's also create another paragraph right here, and then in this case I'm also going to be having two paragraphs, and then let's name this one work, and then let's just write this short code right there, and then we're going to get this. So we can just say this is the workstation 1, and then in this case too, you can see this is the workstation 2. So this is what we are having right now. So let's open this in our browser. Let's make use of live server to open this in our browser. So we want to make use of live server to open this in our browser, and then let's check this out, right? So this is what we have. So in this case right now, I'll be making use of another profile for this. So I want to make use of this Google profile for this, so that we're going to go to this place right now, and then this is where we are. So I'll copy and paste this, and then so we're having this. So the first thing we want to do right now is that we want to check how we can select DOM elements. So we've spoken about that, and then we've shown you we have 5 different methods or 5 different ways of selecting what DOM method. And then let me just list everything right here right now. So we are having something, let me just say the first one we're having get elements by ID. Second, we're having get elements by S by class name. We're also having get elements by tag name. We're also having query selector, and then on the final note, we're having query selector all. So we are going to be looking at this differently. So the first thing we want to make use of how to make use of get elements by ID. So you will recall that in this scenario right now, we are having an ID, so we want to select this. So let's come over to this place, and then let's just say const title header, and you can now see document.get elements by ID, right? What was the ID we have right here? So the ID we are having right here is what? Page title. So let's come here and let's just say page title. Alright, so let's just say console.log, we have what? Title header. So let's come over to this place, and then let's go back to our code, and then let's open the console right here right now. So one thing we forgot to do is that I forgot to link this with this. So let's just link this right here, and then let's use the script tag, right? And then the source, let's reference it to this. So let's just give this some space right here, and then let's see what you got. So let's check our file, and then let's refresh it. Right, can you see it? Can you see what we're having right now? So that we're having the H1 right here on what we've written so far. This is what console.log the title heading, which is this. So we've used that to select this, and then so the next thing we want to talk about is get elements by class name. So we want to check get elements by class name, right? This is the second one, get elements by class name, right? So we have different classes here, right? We have the class for family, work. So let's see what we'll be having right now. So let's just say families, right? Let's just say families, and then let's just say document dot get elements by class name, and then we're having family, right? So let's just say console.log, and then let's call this families. So for us to get more clearer picture of what we are doing, let's just console.log this so that it won't appear in the console. So console.log family. So let's see what we're having right now. So can you see we're having HTML collection of two families. This one is trying to tell us that it has the type is HTML collection. So that's what we are having. But if we are to apply in this case right now, we can't apply array method on this, but we can do something that's what can we do on this? We can just first convert this to an array by making use of spread operator. So let's come over to our code, and then let's just say const family group, and then let's just say we are going to be making use of our spread operator like this. Say 3 dots, and then we can just say families, right? So let's now say console.log, let's say family group. So we say family group, right? So let's check what we're having in the console, right? So see what we're having in the console right now. So we're able to what? We're able to get this to the console, right? So let's now try as much as possible to make use of the for each method on this, and then let's see what we're having. So we can just say console.log family group dot for each, and then let's just say family, let's just say farms, and then let's just say console.log farms. So let's see what we're having right now. So let's go back to the console and then let's see what we're having. So can you see right now, this is what we're having. We've been able to use that to print what we have out. So can you see we've been able to use that to print this out. So the next thing on the line right now is what we're having, get element by tag names, right? So let's just take this out here. Just say get elements by tag name. So we can make use of each element we have on this our HTML to select it. So we can just say const, let's just say paragraph, right? Paragraph, and then we can now say document dot get elements element by tag name, and then we're having what, let's just say P, which is the parallel start from paragraph. So let's just say console.log, and then let's put out the what paragraph right here. So let's check what we're having in our console. And then guys, now it selects all the paragraph we have right here. Can you see paragraph A, paragraph B, work, and then so we can also make use of the spread operator we make use the other time by trying to log into the console. We can just say let's just do this, or we can just do like this, dot 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 paragraph, and then you can just say dot map. Yeah, you can just say dot for each. Let's make use of for each on this, and then let's just say P. You can now say console.log, and then let's have P. So right now this is showing us an error, but let's just do something right here. Let's assign this to a variable. So you can just say paragraph group. So let's assign this to a variable. So it is gone right now. So let's now say paragraph group, right? And then let's have this. So let's see what we got. So can you see right now it printed everything, have one after the other. It printed everything. This usually return a node list. The get element by tag name usually return a node list, and then we converted the node list back to an array. And then after the conversion, what was the next thing we did? We tried to loop through over it, and then when we loop through over it, we print it out to the console. So that was what we did. So in the next one, we'll be talking about what document.query selector, right? We'll be speaking about document.query selector. So let's come over to this place and then let's check. So next we'll be talking about is what query selector. Let's bring it query selector, right? So in the case for the query selector will only pick out only one from the web page of what we're having. So let's see what we got right here. So it will only pick up only one, and then let's just say const, and then let's just say docs, and then let's just say document dot query selector, right? You can just say document dot query selector, and then let's see what we got. So also say query selector, and then don't forget the class we are using, either the class or ID. So you must pinpoint in there, but in this case I just saying point dot family, right? So it will be dot family, and then let's now see console.log, let's say docs, right? So let's see what we got in the docs. But before that, let's try as much as possible to comment out all these things we have right here. To comment out all the console.log we're having, so that we're going to see what we are working with. So okay, so let's just check our browser and then let's see what we're having. We're having what family right here. Can you see? This is what we're having right here. What we've been able to select, we've been able to make use of this to select it out, right? So that is for the query selector. The next we have on the line is what query selector all. Having query selector all, you can just see this one is going to pick up all the classes that is being on the structure of the HTML. So that is what it's going to pick out. So it's going to pick it up. So let's just see this as para list, that is paragraph list of paragraph we have, and then let's just say document dot query selector all, right? And then let's just say let's just pick P, all the tags, right? all the paragraph we have here. And then let's see what we have. So let's just see console.log. We're having what paralist. So let's check the browser and then let's see what we're having. Can you see it's pick up the first one? Let's see what we're having right now. So let's just comment this one out and then let's go back to our web page and then let's refresh it. So it is returning a node list, right? So the next thing for us to do right now is to convert this node list back to an array. So let's comment this one out. So we'll be having what? And let's just say const paralist group, and then let's just put this. Let's put the spread operator here, and then just say paralist. So let's say paralist, and then we can just come over to this place and then just say paralist group, right? Dot for each. You can make use of for each method on it, and then let's just say list, and then let's print it out to the console. You can just say console.log, and then let's print out the list of what we're having right now. So let's go back to the list. Let's go back to the browser and let's see what we're having. So you just can see it has print out every of the thing we're having. That is what it's doing right now, which is in this page 37. So that is the various ways we can use in selecting our DOM elements. So the next thing we'll be speaking about is we'll be talking about how to change the content of DOM elements. So how to change the content of DOM elements. So that's what we're going to talk about. So we'll be making use of these properties. We'll be making use of what we call the inner HTML, and then also we'll be making use of what the inner text, and then on the final note we'll be making use of what text content. So let's see how this works. So for the inner HTML, we can just pick what we picked before, like this one. Let's just copy this one over to this place. Let's pick out this one we've written before. We want to copy it, and then let's comment it out. And then let's comment this one out. And then let's come over to this place and then paste it. Then we can now see title header dot inner HTML, and then we can now say this is the new heading, right? So let's come over here and let's see what we're having. You can see it has changed right away. So we can make use of inner HTML to change the content of what we're having. Also, we can also make use of inner text, right? You can just say title header dot inner text, and then you can see this is the new inner text. So this is what you can see. This is the new inner text. Also, we can also make use of title header, and then say text the text content equals to what. You can just say this is the new text context. So can you see this is the new text context? This is the new text context. That is what we're having. But the differences between this header, this inner HTML, and then inner text, and then the text content is that in this inner HTML, you can use this .inner HTML to override the tag you're having right here, because this is an H1 tag. You can use it to override it, and then but in the case of the text context, it's going to only work with the context, with the text you are having in it. And then it is always advisable for you to make use of text context, because in most cases the inner HTML might got a wrong what we call script tag, and then it might be easily be hijacked So the next thing we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about how to work with attributes of DOM. That is what we'll be talking about. We're going to talk how to work with attribute of DOM. How to work with attributes of DOM element. So that's what we are going to be using 4 different methods. We are going to be using get attributes. We're also going to be using set attributes, and then we're going to be using remove attributes, and we're also going to be using what the last one, which is what as attributes. The as attribute will always return what boolean value. So that's just it, right? So for the get attributes, we can use it to get maybe any HTML tag is having its particular attribute. For instance, now let us create a button right here, and then the button should have a type of submit. So it has a type of submit. The type is an attribute. It's also having an ID called what? My btn, right? It's also having an attribute called my btn. Let's just come to this place and then let's now say click me. So it's having the attribute of what we call type, submit, and then the what. So let's come over to this place and then let's work with get attributes. So for instance, now let's select this button first, and then first to be able to select the button, we can just say count my btn, and we can just say document dot get element by id, and then the id we have right here is what we call my btn. Let's just say my btn, right? So you can check it if it has an attribute. You can just say my btn dot get attribute, right? Does it have? Let's get the attribute of what? The attribute of id. So let's console.log this. Let's put it in the console.log. So let's do this and then let's check what we have right now. So can you see it has what? It has it, which is called my btn over in this case scenario. So the next thing we want to talk about is set attribute. That is, we want to set a new attribute to this, and then for us to do that, let's come over to this place and then create what? And create a button, right? You can just say button. So the button is going to become click after. So we want to set the attribute of this. We want to give an attribute of id and the attribute of what? Type. So for us to be able to use the attribute will take two parameters. But let's do that. Let's select the button first. So for us to be able to select the button, we are going to make use of what we call, let's give the class here right now. Let's give it the class of you can give it the class of what we call btn. So we can just come over to this place and then let's just say const btn equals to document.get element by class name, and we can just say btn, right? So we can just say console.log, we can say btn.set attributes. And in the case of setting attributes, you usually have two words. It usually takes into parameter. The first one is what? You want to set the type, right? And you want to set it to what? Submit. So right, so let's just see what we have right now. Okay, since set attribute is not a what? Is not a function. Let's save and then let's refresh this and then let's see what we have. Let's refresh it. So it's still refreshing. I don't know why it's still loading. So let's just open a new tab and then let's put it right there. And then let's see what we got. Or you're still loading. So the thing I want us to do right now is that I want us to come back to this place and then I'll do one or two things. I've put an ID right here right now. So we'll be selecting the button by using ID. So this is the grid right now that I've done. I've set the words. I've gotten the what I've selected the what the BTN by ID. And then I want to set an attribute to it. I just want to say BTN dot set attribute, right? And then the attribute takes into parameters. So the first one is the type, and then we're having what submit, right? So type of what submit. So we want to set the attribute of this. We want to set the we want to give it an attribute of type, and we want to set some. So let's come to .log BTN and then let's see what we're having. So let's go back to the console and then let's see what we're having. Can you see? It has it. So this is what we're having. So let's check. Let's come back to this place and then let's check the type. Right? If the type is what submit. So that will be under this. Under this, what we call the HTML button element. So let's search for type and then let's see if the type has been set to what to submit. So let's just under this, let's just type. So can you see right now the type has been set to what? It has been set to submit over to this place. Can you see? It has been set to submit. So that's just that on what setting the attribute. The setting attribute what it takes in what it takes into parameters the type of what you want to set and then the value as well. So the next thing we want to talk about is the remove. Right? Let's just say BTN. Let's come over to this place. And you know we're having an ID of what. Let's just give the class of BTN as well. So let's give the class of BTN. So let's just see. And then for the remove, let's see what it got. So in this place, we're having the class and then the BTN. So the remove also will be taken to parameters. You can just say BTN dot remove attributes. And then I'm going to say what it is what class of what BTN. So let's see. And we are going to confirm that maybe it has it. So the class and then the BTN. So let's now use what we call the as property to confirm maybe it still has it. Let's now say BTN dot as attribute, and then let's check maybe it has the attribute of what class, right? Let's see maybe it has the attribute of class. So let's come over to our browser and then let's see. Let's refresh this. Okay, we've not logged it to the console. Let's now log it to the console. So let's log this to the console and then let's see. Can you see? It is saying false, right? So if we should comment this one out now and then we save it and then we refresh it, then it will be what? It will be back to true. So by so doing, we've talked about different ways of working with attributes in DOM elements. So we talk about get attributes. If you want to get the attributes, you want to set the attributes yourself, and then also you can also confirm if the attribute is there. And then so far so good, we spoke about how to select the DOM element, and then talk about the 5 different methods to select. We have get element by ID, get element by class name, get element by tag name, and then the query selectors and then the query selector also. And then also we provide an example to this and then these are the list of what we've done so far, and we also talk about how to do this. So right now, so we are going to meet in the next section. Thanks.